This will sound conspiracy theory at first, but just listen, and I think you'll agree that there's a point. Just give it a minute. Okay. All right. What if the tariffs were never about bringing manufacturing back into the country, but rather a tricky way to get you and I to start paying what we owe, to start paying the debt? I'm going to break it down, and then we'll discuss all the other stuff, financial updates my family is going through. Okay. So we owe a lot of money. The United States, we owe a lot of money, right? And it's getting out of hand. And come July, it's coming due. We're not going to go into the details, just the fact that come July, money needs to be paid, right? Well, how else are you going to make that happen? You raise taxes. That is the greatest, that's the only way I can think of for you to raise money as a country, right? You raise taxes and each person starts paying their due. But who the heck wants to raise taxes? No one, regardless of the side of the aisle you're on, Democrat, Republican, no one, because it's not, you'll lose the next election, point blank period, right? It's not what anyone wants to do, any politician wants to do, even though it makes sense in a way for us to pay our debt, in addition to stop spending what we don't have. But let's not even go there, right? How are they going to be able to raise taxes when that's not what we want, and we would vote them out if they do? A couple days ago, I saw a headline. I didn't bother reading the article. The headline, I know that's dangerous. You should always read because the articles be deceiving, the headlines be deceiving. But it was quotation. Trump said, "We don't want to manufacture cheap stuff like pencil and T-shirts and cups and all that. We want to manufacture the high-tech stuff, right? We're all about, we would rather have the high-tech stuff. That's what we want to focus on. But the tariffs are on T-shirts and pencils and everyday stuff. They're on everything. A regular person, you and I, with our little brain, you and I who have everything else going, we're not paid to sit down and think. We're not economists and all that. You and I knew it doesn't make sense putting tariff on pencils and cups and T-shirts and all that stuff, because we, Americans, we are not willing to pay what it would cost to make those things here in the States, right? If you bring back everyday item manufacturing here in the States, it will cost a lot of money to make, because I, for one, will not work without benefits, right? There goes the increased cost, which a lot of these countries that are manufacturing right now are not doing. That's why it's cheap labor. Two, my work environment has to be amazing. It has to be livable. Let's forget amazing. Livable. Have decent light. Increased cost, right? I need to have, it needs to have good pay, increased cost. So when you now put that T-shirt for sale, I mean, the price for that is going to be super high, and none of us want to pay that much money for it. If that were the case, a lot of us would not be shopping where we shop, and I'm not going to mention names because I'm also guilty, right? So we regular folks, we already knew this does not add up. We can't pay. We don't want to pay for what it costs to manufacture stuff in the States. So if we know this, the experts and the degree holding economists and treasury secretary people and all them smart people already know this. They knew this from day one. So then why put tariffs on it? If it's not to bring manufacturing back in, then why are we going to charge to import that stuff in when we know that the money the government will make, we are paying for it, we the citizens. So the government will get that money at the border, customs, right? But then it's not the companies paying for it, because they're just going to charge us for it. So technically, indirectly, what is happening, even if the tariff is only 10%, what is happening is the government has found a clever way to tax us, a clever way to get more money from us to pay what we owe as a country. I just I don't think that's conspiracy theory. I think that's it. I think that makes a lot of sense to me, unless maybe something changes tomorrow, but that makes a lot of sense to me. And then to see this article again about him saying it's not about we don't want to manufacture bowls and plates and whatnot. I'm like, well, yeah, we knew that. We We knew that, but you said it was about bringing manufacturing. So that makes me think really the whole point was, hey, our debt is due in July. We need to raise some money. How do we do that without losing, without the public hating us? Tariffs. Even if all this back and forth with tariffs, even if it ends up being only 10%, that's still more money coming from us than we would have been open to doing, i.e., raising our taxes by 0.05%. And then the argument, or let's play devil's advocate. Well, if that's the case, this bill is leading to a lot of cuts, so that wouldn't make sense because now you're raising money on this end, but then you're losing money on the other end with all these cuts. Are we though? Because the only benefit we have on our end is our taxes remain the same, right? And then when we file taxes, if you have kids, it's an additional $500 from what it was. It's an additional $500 each child, right? Other than that, everything else is costing us and putting money in the government's pocket, right? Medicaid cut, money in the government's pocket. Food stamp cut, money in the government's pocket. Remittance taxes, money in the government's pocket. Cussing us. The only place where the government is losing money, I agree, is it's not taking the taxes back to what it was pre 2017, right? And yes, it's adding more debts. I agree. But with this tariff, I feel as though I'm not saying the government has it all 100%, but it's still looking to me like the whole point of the tariff, and that's why it was for everyone, every country, regardless of their population, their output, there's tariff. Because really, what it is just how can we raise taxes without raising taxes? Smart, smart. So let me know if you agree. Do you what do you think? Because I know this tariff thing. What do you think? In the meantime, everyone is at 10%, right? And I just read an article about how much money the tariff has brought in so far. Yes, it doesn't compare to what we'll be losing in taxes. I agree, but I still stand by it until I'm proven wrong. I still, because it doesn't make sense otherwise. Those who were paid how much every year and those who are experts in their field, they already knew this. So then why would they continue with the tariff if that's not the case? If the end goal wasn't to just get my money out of citizens without calling it taxes. All right, so as a family, this video is really just an update. I did one of these at the beginning of the year, and I told you guys we'll do a lot more of it. And I'm really trying to push myself to do the regular videos in this format. We have so many professional financial channels and personal finance channels that I'm thinking, maybe we don't need another professional. We should just chill and discuss it as it affects me and how it affects you. All right. So as a family, we moved into this wonderful, wonderful, lovely home that is a blessing. But with new, bigger house comes more stuff you need. Things you need for the house, right? And not like we're just choosing to buy stuff. We moved states. We moved from Virginia to Nebraska. And with that move, we didn't move a lot of stuff. We left a lot of stuff, or we let go of a lot of stuff. Not because because we wanted to buy new stuff. No, but we didn't realize how much stuff we had. So when we got the pod, we got the biggest pod. That thing filled up so fast. Filled up so fast that we had to let go of stuff. Stuff that we knew we would need, but it came down to how much does it cost? The $200 grill or the $2,000 swing, children's swing. The swing is going to come with us. The grill will have to go. There's no room. We have to make decisions. Is it the patio set or the mattress? We had to make decisions like that. So we let go of a lot of stuff that we needed because we didn't have space. And now that we're in the house, we need the stuff. I have nothing for outside, no patio, nothing, and of course things to make the house a home. We don't have a lot of that stuff, and we're going to have to buy it. Well, the problem now is with the way the economy is, not even the economy, tariff, and the way the economy is, things that we would have taking our time to buy, we feel kind of pushed to buy because it's only going to get more expensive, right? So I'm torn between the thought process of my regular usual thought process, only get the minimum that you need and then just wait, end of season, you go buy up stuff at a discount, right? And now I'm going, is it really going to be at a discount at the end of the season? Is it because tariffs? It's going to cost more. So getting it now may be cheaper than waiting till then, because if you're a retail store, are you really going to really have clearance for these things, or would you rather hold on to it because inventory, because the stuff coming in will cost you more? And we all know, when regardless of whether or not they paid more at the border for it, when price goes up for everything, right? So now it's that this dance between, should we hold off or should we get it now because it's cheaper? The basement needs to be done, and we could wait, right? You'd be like, all right, let's hold off, get a little breather financially. But now, if lumber is going to cost more, I don't think there's tariff on lumber. But if it's going to cost more to get it done in the future, isn't it wiser to get it done now? See, that's our struggle, both big and small purchases. Listen, the fact that we're even talking about making the house a home, when people are talking about making ends meet, okay, I'm not complaining at all. This is not a complaint. This is just to give you an update, because I am fully aware of the blessing it is to be able to even think about making the house a home, right? Thank God we're not worried about layoffs. Thank God we're still okay financially. It's a blessing. I'm very aware of that, especially when you go from a two income household to one income. That one income becomes it. When it's a two income household, hey, you lose your job, we have backup. But you're a one income household, huh? So listen, I count my blessings every single day. I'll need to do a video for that. But I am, this is the struggle we have. But the bigger struggle, because that's secondary, bigger struggle is this mindset of stocking up, right? Because things are going to cost more. Walmart has said it. Target has said it. Everyone and their mama has said it, right? So we know. So the mindset or the wise thing to do would be to stock up, right? But stocking up costs money. We know this, right? It blows up your expenses for the month. And I'm okay with that if it saves money, right? Is we feel the pain now for us not to feel the pain down the road. Wise sayings. But here's the thing. I'm realizing that regardless of how much you stock up, you'll run out. You'll eventually run out, and then you're going to have to pay full price or the new price. Do you understand what I'm saying? So even if I stock up on my flour and sugar and every single staple we use in this house, a month from now it's going to run out, or let's say 2 months. I don't know how much you're stocking up. 2 months, it'll run out. And when it does run out, now I have to pay the new price for flour. So I've really only saved myself some money to cover 2 months, and that's it. And I'm starting to feel like, is it worth me blowing up my expenses this month just so I can save a few dollars over the next 2 months? You see what I'm saying? So I don't think that argument stands anymore. And yes, I encourage stocking up. I don't think, having tried it, having done it, I'm starting to feel like it doesn't make sense anymore. I think for me now, what we're doing, or by we, I mean me, I'm the CEO. No, wait, I'm the COO of the family. For me now, I'm leaning more so on things that I cannot afford to have the empty shelf issues. Walmart has warned about empty shelves. Target has, but red yellow has the fact that due to the tariff and the disruption in important stuff, that the shelves will be empty. So I'm focused on things that I cannot handle if I can't get hold of. Meds. I have two kids with food allergies, so Benadryl, Cetirizine, EpiPen, those are life situations. I can't do EpiPen; it has to be prescribed. But things like the citrazine and Benadryl, I am buying more than a pack. I have 2 packs to go because we can't afford to have not have access to that. And it's not unheard of because not that long ago, baby formula was empty shelves, right? So things like that, toilet paper, I cannot go with that. I need, I'm stocking up on toilet paper. And by stocking up, I just mean I'm doing at least 2 extra or 1 extra. The med 2, 3 extra. Listen, I can't risk it. The toilet paper, the big bag, an extra big bag because we can't risk that. This I'm focused more on if there's an empty shelf syndrome. What can I not go without? Rather than trying to stock up for to avoid paying high price, because regardless of what you do, you're going to have to pay high price. You just it's what it is, right? But hey, things can change at any point, depending on what happens. It's only been 5 months with a new administration, and it feels like something new every single day. So and things can change and change in plans. I'll change my plans like that. But in the meantime, financially, we're just focused on we're only going to get what we need. And in the future, if the price goes up, what are we going to do? There's no running away from that. It is what it is. That's it. How are you guys doing? How is everyone doing with the climate as it is, with the tariff and the economy as it is? How are we all doing? I'll really try to push myself to do a lot more of this. Just chilled, laid back discussion of finances. I will really try and override myself and not try to think it has to be all polished and professional. All right. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. And I'm here. I hope to see you here too. All right. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.